What happened to Sofia after John Wick Chapter 3? In a world filled with violence and conspiracies, John Wick is fortunate enough to have the constant support of some loyal friends and accomplices. While Sofia Alizwar in John Wick Chapter 3 cannot exactly be classified as one of his friends, her help is crucial in setting up the future story arc of the franchise. This memorable character, played by Halle Berry, was an absolute badass, and she instantly became a fan favorite. However, we are not given a proper closure in terms of what happens to this character after assisting John Wick during his greatest crisis, and in this video we will explore the various possibilities. Before we go into our explanation, we have a small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. What makes Sofia so important in the John Wick story arc? After assassinating Santino D'Antonio on continental grounds, John Wick is declared excommunicado and an open bounty is announced for his assassination. This causes hordes of assassins to try out their luck, and John soon realizes the seriousness of the situation and the futility of being on the run continuously. With the help of the director, a crime lord of the Ruska-Roma family, John gets a safe passage to Casablanca for a meeting with Sofia. It turns out that John had previously helped Sofia in finding a safe hiding for her daughter away from all the threats of the underworld, and in return, she had sworn a blood oath. John revokes the power of this marker and seeks her assistance in meeting her former boss, Barada, a crime lord. She reluctantly agrees, even though her new position as the manager of the Moroccan Continental could be jeopardized for helping an excommunicado. The meeting with Barada takes a violent turn after he shoots one of Sofia's Belgian Malinois hounds on its bulletproof vest. Sofia retaliates, and John Wick helps her in taking down Barada's henchmen by the dozens. Barada himself is mutilated by her fierce dogs, but John stops her from killing him before they flee. She drives John into the middle of the Moroccan desert for a meeting with the leader of the High Table. That is the last we see of her, but Sofia seems to be disgusted with John for dragging her into this mess. What happens to her next? If John Wick movies have taught us anything, it is the severity of the consequences that befall anyone defying the High Table. Sofia assisted John during a time when he was one of the most wanted men for the High Table, and her actions are unlikely to go unpunished. In the case of Winston, we have seen how helping John Wick resulted in his position as the manager of the New York Continental being revoked. The hotel grounds were later deconsecrated, and when Winston refused to step down, it resulted in an all-out war with the forces of the High Table. In John Wick Chapter 4, the New York Continental is destroyed. Sofia is comparatively new when it comes to her services as the manager of Moroccan Continental, and the severity of her punishment could be much worse since she is not as indispensable as Winston. She has been portrayed as a fierce and courageous woman, but her manpower and resources did not seem to be at par with Winston. Thus, the possibility of leading a fight back against the High Table might not be fruitful for her. Although John Wick Chapter 3 keeps us on a cliffhanger and does not reveal what happens to her character next, it is safe to assume that she was punished for her actions, and her position as the manager of Continental was taken away. Will Barada come back for her? If you leave a powerful enemy like Barada alive after a near-death confrontation, then he is bound to strike back. John Wick might have made a crucial mistake in making her spare the life of Barada, because being mauled in the crotch by Sofia's dog wouldn't exactly calm his nerves. However, there is also a tradition of paying back the favors in this harsh and brutal world, and Barada might just be inclined to spare her life even if he retaliates. John and Sofia killed a lot of his henchmen, but a crime lord of his position wouldn't take too much time to regroup and hit back hard. More than Sofia, her dog seemed to be doomed because Barada's revenge can be more severe on these adorable animals. It must also be considered that such a high-ranking crime lord would have a position of power and say in the matters of the High Table. After all, Barada is one of the few who knows about the approximate location of the leader of the High Table and where to find him. After John Wick betrays the High Table, after swearing fealty, the punishment can be worse for Sofia. Surely Barada and his surviving henchmen will reveal all about her actions to the High Table, and there seems to be no place to hide from the long arms of the ruthless organization. Is Sofia dead, or has she gone into hiding? Well, by the looks of it, Sofia should be dead. But the only reason we think otherwise is the fact that her character is far too important and popular to finish off-screen. Besides, she is smart enough to know about the consequences that await her if she goes back to her usual life, and Sofia could have gone into hiding before the violent repercussion. Granted, there aren't many places to hide away from the eyes of the High Table, but what if John Wick told her about the place where he kept her daughter? She has been safe and away from the underworld for a very long time, and we can hope that Sofia will find a safe haven courtesy of John, who surely owes her a favor after what she did for him. If there is hope for a comeback of the character, which there is, then we would put our money on the possibility that she managed to escape and went into hiding. Is Mr. Nobody related to Sofia? This is one of the biggest fan theories during the rounds ever since John Wick Chapter 4 has been released. Mr. Nobody is a mysterious assassin, also called the Tracker, who is after the large bounty placed on John Wick. However, he lets go of a few opportunities to kill the titular assassin and even kills others trying to kill him in order to raise the stakes higher. Eventually, it goes up to an incredibly high amount, but he cannot bring himself to kill John because the latter saved his dog from certain death during one of their confrontations. This dog is the key to a possible link between him and Sofia because it is a Belgian Malinois and looks awfully similar to one of Sofia's dogs. Some fans theorize that Mr. Nobody can be Sofia's son, but we believe that there is a greater chance that this is her brother or her husband. This is because the timeline of the fourth movie is not too far away from the third, and Mr. Nobody is a grown man, and it seems absurd that Sofia would have a son so old. If his beloved dog is indeed one of the two we saw with Sofia, it could hint at a few implications. Sofia and the other dog could be dead or in hiding, trying to stay away from the eyes of the High Table. Mr. Nobody could be in need of this absurd amount of money in order to buy her freedom and reunite with her. Given that he eventually fails to secure the bounty, Sofia's future gets more interesting and questionable going ahead. What does Halle Berry have to say regarding the future of Sofia? Before the release of John Wick Chapter 4, Halle Berry had revealed in an interview that Sofia was not going to be a part of the new movie. While this left some fans disappointed, she was quick to suggest that a potential spin-off featuring the character might be on the cards. There could possibly be a Sofia, her own movie, and she might be doing her own thingy, said Halle Berry, sparking rumors of a project on these lines. While there hasn't been any concrete news on this front, the grand success of the recent release surely adds to the possibility of more spin-offs waiting to happen in the near future. We have already been told about Ballerina and the Continental as two of the confirmed projects, and a movie or a series featuring Sofia might just complete the puzzle for the fans. Do let us know in the comments below about your thoughts on a potential spin-off featuring Sofia, and also tell us what you think happened to the badass character in the aftermath of John Wick Chapter 3.